A little bit over a year ago, I released my full-length level A Jew, which was my attempt at making a modern level. And sure, some of the parts don't really look that much like modern style, but then again, this was made a year ago. Now, about a month ago, I updated the level a bit just to fix some gameplay stuff. But while I was doing that, I had like a sudden urge to want to make more modern stuff and basically just have another crack at making modern decoration. So first of all, obviously gotta find a song that I'll be using here. Yeah, I think an 11-second start offset on Speed Breaker is probably good, you know? It starts like a bit into the action so I can do like a bit faster gameplay. So yeah, I guess that means that we're gonna begin with some simple gameplay for this first part. And then I also don't want you to start like in the ground. So let's say you'll start like at this point. So I want to use some decently simple structures, but not anything too insane. I can try to make this like probably easy demon difficulty. Like let's say some structuring like this. Maybe make it a bit more closed in and add some spikes here. Even though I don't think I've ever made any easy demon gameplay before, it surprisingly went pretty well making this, and I don't even feel like this is like medium demon or hard demon. I tried to do some interesting gimmicks, but honestly that didn't really make the gameplay more exciting, so they're pretty useless, but I still kept them in, you know. And then I guess put a red orb in a structure here, because that would be cool. Okay, I don't know exactly what I'll do for this short bit though, since that's kind of awkward. You know what, I might just want to do some like quirky orb stuff, because why not? I think that's all of the gameplay, so 6 seconds of gameplay isn't that much, but hey, it's something. So let's just play through this and see how it plays so far. Yeah, not anything that insane. Welp, now we're on to the decoration, and the first thing I did was set the colors for the part, and then I began with the block design. And I don't want to use this like color here, maybe do like a more light blue color, make it a bit darker and probably a bit less saturated. And then for the block design, the first thing I'll do is probably have like some really thick outlines, kind of like this. I don't know if this is actually gonna be the shape that I'll be using, but who knows. And then I can add like the first inside right here, which will just be color 1. And color 1 will copy the background color. And then on color 2, I want to add some glow to the sides, and then some glow to the top. Yeah, I can make this main base be like, I guess, black even. On layer 3, I guess I can use like these objects. I'll make them be one layer above, and then I want to do like a sort of crystallized effect with this. So like flip half of these around like this. I think the design probably needs more, but right now I want to work on like this inner section right here. This inner part was really simple to design, just a dark base, some shadow, and some 9 circles blocks, and they were already completed. Now I'd say that the main difficulty of making modern levels are affecting colors, and while I'm not that good at that, I still tried my best, you know. And then I've seen this tactic be used in like RobTop levels, and I don't know if it works that well in hindsight, but something that he tends to do is like this sort of thingo. It's really hard to explain what I'm doing here because honestly I don't even know myself. Yeah, kind of give it like an outer glow in a way, which I think looks pretty cool. And then I think the final thing they'll add to this block design might just want to be some glow to this. Okay, I feel like half opacity could work. I'm gonna hold off on filling this to the rest of the structures because I also want to do a simple spike design. And what I'll do for this spike design, I might just want to... You know what, I think that's probably like a good modern spike design. Now what I want to work on are some like borders for this. Borders are basically just like a fancy way of saying like ground spikes. What if I just put like spikes here? Yeah, literally just some spikes like this. Do like that, I guess. I think that's cool. I think that's really cool, yeah. And then finally, I might just want to add some like low opacity glow behind these. And then I'll scale these up to, let's say, 1.5 or something. And then I spent around 5 minutes on making the borders smooth, and this is how the part looks with the borders. Yeah, I like that, that's nice. And then the final stuff that I want to do before filling in the block design, I think, is a sort of background. So I want to do 2 layers for this background. The first will be like some pillars with these objects. Yeah, this is cool. I like it. I mean, it's the first layer of the background, so it's not going to be anything too interesting, you know. But it's still going to be something, you know. I mean, the problem now is that I'm out of ideas for what to do because I already made pillars. And like 90% of my custom backgrounds are literally just pillars. So yeah, I gotta think of something else now. I made a sort of parallax background where I just spammed some big blocks to create the illusion of the buildings or something. Honestly, I would like to detail this more, but then again, it wasn't terrible, you know? Okay, yeah, that's good. Now, I just feel like the main problem is that these are a bit too thin. I'd say this is kind of cool, but now I want to try to test if like half opacity actually works with this. Dude, I genuinely have no idea what works better, bro. Yeah, I think that's good. So I feel like what I'll do now is finally, you know, put the rest of the block design to the rest of the structures in the part. So yeah, let's just do that real quick. And while I'm filling in the block design, I'll humbly ask you to please subscribe. We're pretty close to 5,000 subs, and it would be cool to reach that in the following weeks. I also have memberships, so smash that join button for tons of cool perks. But let's get back to me attempting modern style decoration. But yeah, the part is actually coming together pretty well. Even though I can't really do this gameplay while talking, I think that this is a pretty cool part, you know? I feel like what I want to do now is spend some time working on some air deco, and I feel like I want to begin with some Sawblades. So, sorry Nageview, but I think I'll probably just like straight up copy the Sawblade design from Accu. Maybe not copy, but like do something very similar to it, you know? These Sawblades could have definitely been bettered, and while I did not fully copy the Sawblades from Accu, it's still really similar to it. So yeah, something like that, I guess. And then let's add some glow to the top of this, like some bright blending glow to the top, and then on T1 below this, let's add some like black glow. Why can't you layer stuff on like layer 0? I don't get that. I think I'll probably just place like a block in the middle of this Sawblade. This, yeah, and then also put it like above. And then for the smaller Sawblades, I'ma just do the same thing real quick, so hang on a bit. And yeah, that was pretty simple. So let's just put the Sawblades in places throughout the part. Okay. Yeah, the part feels way more like, I guess, even alive now with these Sawblades since they like rotate, you know? I don't know exactly how well they fit into the part, but then again, I'm not that experienced with modern styles, so yeah, I'm not that good at this stuff. After that, I began with something I'm really experienced with, which is air deco, and I began with the orbs for the part. And here I want to try to do a bit more unique stuff, but still nothing too complicated. Maybe like this object right here on background blending, combine it with like this object. Also make these rotate the opposite way, I guess. I think I'll add this guy to the center. Make him like black, and then also T2, and then finally I'll add some like glow on T2 to this. Okay, I think that works. And then let's just put this on all of the orbs. I feel like what I'll add now are probably just some like stray bricks around the part, just to fill some extra air deco. I saw that Vit12 did this when he was trying to make a modern level, which is pretty cool. I think I'll just use these as some sort of like connector deco for the structures. Okay. I think they're fine. Again, nothing too interesting, but just something. And then I think the final detail that I'll add is just some jump indicators, since jump indicators are used a lot in modern levels. Now, the designs for the arrows weren't anything unique, as it's basically the same as this part for the penultimate demon. However, the way I made them move is pretty interesting if I do say so myself. But yeah, I think like all I need to do now is just add the finishing touches, and those finishing touches always tend to be movements for some reason. But you know, I won't complain, movements do look pretty nice. But I feel like I'll do the like movements and pulses like off camera, since that's like really boring. So yeah, I feel like I'll probably just do like a jump cut to when all of the movements and pulses have been added. Alright, I think that's all of the movements and pulses. Let's just see how this looks. Yeah, I like this. Let's go, dude. This is really nice. Well, I feel like the final thing that I'll probably do is just add the names of the members of my channel to the part. And I have a really goofy way of doing this. So just let me do my thing, and then you guys will see what it looks like. Yeah, so I hooked up the members to the ground spikes, and it's kind of goofy, but I think it's funny at least. But yeah, that was my attempt at doing modern style decoration for the first time in over an entire year now, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, this was surprisingly fun to do, and I feel like I kind of want to make a modern style level in the future. I mean, I've already made one, but it would be cool if I made another one, you know? Yeah. Now I just gotta say special thanks to all my members, you know? Special thanks to all my lovely members: Dastinity, GhostXan, RSD621, Il Padre, Qafo, Felmix9, RionFX, SkechyGD, Rolling 2400, KirbyaxolotlGMD, Ripluck, NEOntixx, Tekain, NoLifeCohen, and Tiza. And thanks to you guys for watching this video. Since I missed an upload last week, I'll give you guys extra uploads in the following weeks to hopefully make it up for you guys. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get to the final showcase of the part.